taught LGBTQ curriculum in her class. It raises the question, how many of those students are excelling in that classroom? Is everybody in that class getting A's in math, English, grammar, social studies? Sorry, are we doing Bible studies in classrooms? No, we're not, right? So why is this a certain agenda being pushed into the classroom? And I don't care what kind of sex is being discussed. Right? Sexuality, nudity does not belong in the ears in a classroom of 8-year-old kids.
Haram.
Get the rocks.
Yeah.
Abdul.
Yeah. Get the rocks.
Get the rocks.
Probably one of
I don't like predators, period. I don't care if you're offending or not offending.
Okay, hold
it's
on.
Fucked up.
Who disagrees with Brittany? Who disagrees with Brittany?
What, if you just because you molest a child doesn't
I
make you a
don't disagree
pedophile.
with
That's
her.
not.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Just because you molest a child doesn't make you a pedophile. That's
Yes, it does.
Nasty bitch.
Listen, we do not need to be teaching this radical LGBT grooming agenda in schools. It's one thing if parents want to do that on their own time. That is a parent's right to do that, with some exceptions, of course. But to bring this in and bake this into a public school curriculum is wrong. And meanwhile, Chinese students are learning quantum physics, and we've got our students learning how to twerk from drag queens. It's not going to end well. This is grooming. This is ideological mind control.
I usually do not listen or trust anything that bleeds 5 days straight and cannot die. But damn, Tommy Lauren, DJ, replay the clip.
And meanwhile, Chinese students are learning quantum physics, and we've got our students learning how to twerk from drag queens. It's not going to end well.
That is the God-honest truth, and that phrase hits harder than my dad's belt.
What's your pronouns?
I'm gender fluid.
Hey, wait, can I talk to y'all?
Hey, who are you? How old is that grown-ass man on that phone, lady?
A grown-ass man, yo.
What's his pronouns?
Chico.
Your boyfriend.
Girlfriend.
Put that grown-ass man back on the phone.
That's not a grown-ass man, first off, and second, they're doing something.
He's doing what?
He's doing something, he's going to...
Wait, you just called him he. You just called him he. Yo! This bro character. You broke
Gotcha, bitch.
You let transgenders going and reading nursery stories and playing
Leave the kids alone. If you want to chop your off, I have nothing against that. I'm not anti-gay. I'm not anti-transgender. I'm not anti any of these things. What I am anti is propagating your worldview on other people's children. If you're gay and you can't have kids, why do you now believe it's your right to go to other people's kids and tell them how to think? If you've decided that the type of sex you want to have will prevent you from procreating, that's your decision, right? You've decided that having sex with women isn't worth it for you. You don't want to have children. You want to have sex with men. Fine, your decision and you're entitled to it. That does not give you the entitlement to go to other people's families who did decide to have children and raise them and try and program their children. Leave the kids alone. You can be as transgender as you like. Don't come talk to my kid about it. That's my child. I will program my child with my worldviews. I raise them. I pay for them. They're my kid. They're not your kid. And they're not the government's kid.
Good try. You have to bifurcate it. Did she deserve the honor? Probably not. Is she brave? Of course she's brave. All those years invested as this sports legend. To come out transgender is horribly difficult. It is the most difficult thing you can do. I've been overseas. I've flown helicopter missions, surveillance missions. I've been shot, stabbed. Being brave is being yourself. And being transgender is about the bravest thing you can do. Did she deserve the award? Yes.
Why are we mainstreaming delusion?
Why are we mainstreaming delusion?
It's not delusion.
Why would you call it delusion?
Because Bruce Caitlyn Jenner, I'll call him Caitlyn Jenner.
No,
because
it's her. You're not being polite to the pronoun.
Because
disrespectful.
Okay, forget about the disrespect. Facts don't care about your feelings. It turns out that every chromosome, every cell in Caitlyn Jenner's body is male with the exception of some of his sperm cells. It turns out that his brain structure is male. It turns out that he still has all of his male appendages. How he feels on the inside is irrelevant to the question of his biological status.
I don't agree with that. I'm not on that train. I'm not on that train. She wants to be called she. I'm going to call her she. I just have a problem with the message and the messenger.
So let's I'm going to do two things. I want to reiterate what Zoe said, which is the bifurcation of the courage to come forward after a lifetime as a male and a certain kind of a male versus did she deserve this award? Listen, the awards, what are award ceremonies except an opportunity to catch some eyes?
Especially the ESPN.
So, yeah, it's like ESPN, well done, ABC. They did exactly what their job was, to attract eyes. They did it. That's what award ceremonies are for. But in terms of the science behind gender dysphoria, you're very familiar with that, Zoe.
Very familiar.
It's not about the the chromosomes within our
both know
nuclear. Yeah, go ahead.
chromosomes don't necessarily mean you're male or female.
Gender.
With gender
identity. Go ahead. No, so
especially, but even so, you have a thing like Klinefelter's syndrome. So you don't know what you're talking about. You're not educated on genetics.
Would you like to discuss the genetics? Or
well, no,
what
no.
are your genetics?
So I'd stay away from the genetics and back to the brain scans.
You cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance.
Yeah, that seems mildly inappropriate for a political discussion.
The very moment when the threat starts and the physical abuse starts, you know you are starting to lose the argument completely. And sweetheart, I truly believe that sending somebody home in an ambulance during a political discussion, that's not very ladylike of you.
You cut that out now,
or you'll go home in an ambulance.
When disrespecting pronouns is considered worse than actual threatening violence, you know it's time to get the fuck out of here.
I didn't tell all the other bullshit. I think.
What other bullshit?
The they and them.
Yeah.
And all that extra shit that we added during the pandemic because everyone was so bored on their houses. They just started to make up more shit.
More stuff.
Yeah. That's where the conservatives like me because I'm just real.
Yeah, you do have a conservative vibe to you.
You're not they and them. You're trans, you're male or you're female.
And you're standing on that.
Get so mad when I say that. How are you a they? What the does that mean? It's stupid is what it is.
Yeah.
But you need someone like me that looks like me to say it. Because if you say it, it turns into you're homophobic, you hate trans people, you hate gays. And it's just how you feel. You don't hate anyone. You just think it's stupid.
And if you read the Ontario Human Rights Commission policies on such things, you'll see very rapidly that utilization of preferred pronouns is part of the legislative package. So
and they're actually, if you read the legislation, Jordan, you will find out that they're actually called correct pronouns. There's no preference about this.
There is on the Ontario.
There
is on the Ontario Human Rights Commission website where the policy is laid out. And if people don't believe that, they can just go look themselves.
Professor Pete, when you hear that this is a free speech issue, that you hear Professor Peterson in this case essentially saying that he doesn't want to be legislated to adopt new language, what's your response to that?
Well, I share a number of Jordan's concerns about freedom of speech and academic freedom on campus. These are both very, very important principles, and they should apply regardless of what kind of politics you like. For example, if you're a left-winger or a right-winger or an up-winger or a down-winger or whatever it is. But you know, the reason why we have laws that protect academic freedom and freedom of speech is primarily to prevent government interference in individuals' lives, in their business. It's there really mostly to protect against a form of structural violence. And these free speech laws were actually never intended to be used as all-purpose accountability shields, you know, so that you don't have to be held accountable for your actions.
I'm perfectly willing to be held accountable for my actions, and the university has already indicated the seriousness with which they view my actions. And I also do not believe that free speech laws were there to protect to regulate violence. Free speech laws are there because we use free speech to identify problems in our society, generate solutions to the problems, and then reach a consensus. So freedom of speech is actually is protection for the mechanism by which our individuals and society properly orient themselves across time.
These are not debates. It's simply one man speaking facts and the other he, she, they, him, whatever the two rats ass fucking in a ranch Dorito bag they identify as, they are just speaking feelings.
Mark, I can't believe how drunk you are.
I am not drunk.
Yes, you are.
I am not fucking drunk.
Can you tell the time?
Yes. I am not fucking drunk.
Can you guys imagine this guy going to the doctors? The doctors are like, sir, the patient,
it is ma'am.
Doctor, ma'am, you have testicular cancer. Even this 5-year-old has more common sense than a damn 30-year-old.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Perfect.
Trans people, given the American Psychological Association, American Medical Association, American Psychoanalytic Association, I can go on for about 5 more associations. It's backing the idea that sex and gender are different, effectively gaining the medical consensus for sex and gender being 2 different concepts, yet you have a different opinion. None of the medical associations that I just named off would actually support the idea that gender is biological. This is something that's completely untrue within every single medical consensus.
Well, then I will just say that anyone who suggests that gender has no reference whatsoever to biology, it's not connected in any way to biology, is just full of shit. I disagree with the false medical consensus driven by politically driven, quote-unquote, doctors. If any doctor denies to me that there is a dichotomy between male and female, a sexual dichotomy between male and female, they're ignorant, and they are letting their politics get in the way of their science. Anybody who suggests to you that there is such a thing, for example, as a pregnant male, is not a doctor, they are an activist.
I honestly cannot believe that this is an actual debate. And the fact that we are having this conversation today is fucking scary. What a world we live in. Because it's so sad nowadays, because when we speak common sense, it's considered nonsensical. No wonder why the aliens has never come back. They're fucking laughing at us.
I'm just going to post this every time people ask me the same questions over and over again. My name's Farah. I am a trans woman as well as an intersex woman. My pronouns are she, her, they, them, or your grace. My eyes are tattooed. My nose is a piercing. I identify as a threat, a nightmare, and a goddess, so please bow down to me. I do not believe in God, I don't worship the devil, but yes, I am a Satanist, which means I am my own God and I worship myself. Thank you. Have a good day.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you don't discipline your children.
So I have this thing, call it a little quirk if you will. I have hair in my armpit. I have it there for a few reasons. 1, lazy. 2, the patriarchy. And 3, your response to them tells me everything I need to know about you.
I love how this girl says she's too lazy to shave her armpits.
1, lazy.
But clearly, she is not too lazy to shave the front part of her head. The fact that these people are not starving out booty hole naked in the cold shows you how kind and generous our society really is. You see, these people can't see that their whole life is a walking contradiction to everything they oppose and complain about. And on that note, gentlemen, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Fuck was that? The gun shit blew my fucking eye.
You better come on before you fuck up the video.
Fuck this video. You must blew half my fucking face off.
That was the cheese blew off the pizza.